Howdy, partners. Your hostly trio is back together again for our first live stream of 2023 and prediction show. It is time, everyone's favorite time of the year, the Royal Rumble. We are officially about to be on the road to WrestleMania with the Royal Elite podcast. Let's go.
So what does it mean to be a raging Cajun? Southwest Louisiana, wreck your face, man. Still don't get it in, I'ma let you know. All you gotta do is come and join the show.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another live stream edition of the World Elite Podcast. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and we're on YouTube and Twitch as well. I'm your host, Marcus, at Marcus Elite 337 on Twitter, and I'm back with Dylan and Jordan. What's up, guys?
Hey, not too much, man. Been excited for this one all day. Finally, it's here, and I'm ready to go, man. I'm on Twitter at DylanAbear_.
And I'm doing good, and you can find me at Jordan_J2000.
And I'm going to quickly introduce our guest real fast before we go any further. He currently resides in Baltimore, Maryland, a proud member of the Flock. And you can find him on Twitter at BWATB Podcasts, and you can check out his two shows, Charm City Heavyweights and Bearded. Am I correct? Let me say it again. Bearded Wholesome,
All things Baltimore.
All things Baltimore.
Yes,
It's a lot. It's a lot there.
It
But
is-
ladies and gentlemen,
Yes, it is.
Matt Trigger's in the house, making his World Elite debut. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this all day. I don't get to talk much wrestling on my other shows, so making a wrestling appearance, man, is always something that I get really excited about.
That's awesome. Shout out to Justin in Time Wrestling Podcast. What's up? And Broadcast, good morning. All the way from Australia. What's going on, Broadcast? It's going to be fun talking all this here. But real quick, before we get to any talk, I know. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you become a wrestling fan? And tell us about your love and passion for the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, wow. I'll start with the Baltimore Ravens. My wrestling story is a little bit interesting. I became a Ravens fan when they moved here in 1996 from Cleveland. I was 7 years old. Went to my first game in Memorial Stadium in the 97 season. Just been a fan ever since. I've loved them, through the good times and the bad. I sat through the Super Bowl of 2000, and then the Kyle Bowler era, and then the Joe Flacco era, and currently, I don't know how much longer Lamar's going to be here, but the Lamar era. I love them. I've gone to many games. Had season tickets with my dad and my brother for a solid 6 or 7 years, and got to do the whole tailgating experience at M&T Bank, which is incredible. As for the wrestling, I've been a fan pretty much off and on my entire life. I was a huge fan of it until about 2003 when I hit high school. And a whole bunch of my football teammates were like, "Oh, you're a dork. You watch wrestling." And I'm like, can't rock with that. And then, girls and all that. And I missed the entire Ruthless Aggression era. I missed Cena. I missed the Summer of Punk. I missed so much. And then all of a sudden I was sitting in my apartment around the Royal Rumble that Batista came back for WrestleMania 30, and I was watching TV, and I was channel surfing, and I saw Total Divas on TV. I was like, who are all these good-looking women? And I saw that they were wrestlers. Turned on Raw the next night as a a curiosity type of deal. Didn't know anybody, but I fell in love with it all over again. And then the Daniel Bryan Yes movement kind of sealed my fate in terms of being a fan all over again. I haven't really missed anything since.
Hey, no hard feelings. We've all been bashed in school being wrestling fans, especially me.
It's crazy because, like, looking back on it, I shouldn't have cared what people were talking about, but I missed a lot of good wrestling. And
yeah,
And luckily when the network came around, I took a lot of my free time and I was just watching old pay-per-views and old special events. And I had no idea who Randy Orton was or John Cena or Dolph Ziggler, any of those guys. And it just, once I started to really immerse myself into it again, I got the network and I was seeing pay-per-views for $10 a month and I was like, this is great. I have everything at the fingertips. Because it really turned me off though as a fan when they did the invasion and nobody came over.
Yeah.
Like Sting, Goldberg, Flair, Hogan, Savage, they all.
Yeah, they got the new breed instead or something. The new breed technically.
Yeah, they've really got like the B tier guys. And even though I'm a huge DDP fan and I love Booker T, it just felt kind of off, and they were really having to stretch Angle and Austin's involvement in WCW and ECW to really make it stick, and it just became too much.
That's
but I'm glad I'm back.
Yeah, that's great. And I loved your story about the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, I'm pretty sure M&T Bank Stadium's a really nice stadium. And hell, y'all won one of y'all Super Bowls in our backyard. Y'all won it in the Superdome in New Orleans when the lights went out.
When Roger Goodell turned the lights out at halftime. I still find it incredibly. Look, and I'm not saying this as a conspiracy theorist, but I just want to ask one question, see if it makes sense. They had a Beyonce full-fledged 25-minute concert the entirety of halftime, and the lights didn't go out. And then we run the opening kickoff of the second half back. We're about to run them boys out of the building, and then there's a malfunction of epic proportions, and that totally swung the momentum back, and it came down to a goal line fade that arguably was pass interference, arguably it wasn't, depending on what side of fandom you're on.
I remember that scared me. Y'all had like a big lead at the half, and then they were slowly making a comeback, but it was too late, and y'all pulled it off.
It was dicey. I was more worried watching that Super Bowl than I was when I was 11 years old watching the Giants beat down.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Well, we're talking Royal Rumble today because, I mean, just judging by my look, can anybody take a guess where the Royal Rumble is going to be this Saturday?
I mean, pretty obvious guess here, but cowboy hat. So,
cowboy hat and Whataburger T-shirt is going back to Texas. But in San Antonio, Texas. Now you can tell me to finally shut the fuck up because I'm finally going in the Alamo Dome. I love touring stadiums. I go tour stadiums all over the country, college, NFL. Hopefully one day I'll get to go back to Baltimore and I get to finally go in M&T Bank Stadium or the Orioles Stadium. He's like, dude, the Alamo Dome is fucking trash. I said, who gives a shit? It's about as historic as the Astrodome and Texas Stadium.
I love the old Astrodome. Yes. I loved playing video games in the old Astrodome, whether it was football or baseball, was fantastic.
Yeah, I've been in the Astrodome quite often as a kid before they moved to Minute Maid Park. I saw my first Astros game against the Yankees in 1996 in the Astrodome.
That train is cool though at Minute Maid though.
Oh yeah,
I love the
train, and then I love El Torito, the jumbotron that Jordan hit in the corner, and he had to pay $4,000 of damage.
Jordan is an absolute freakishly strong baseball player.
Jordan is our Jackie Robinson of today. Like, he is the best hitter in this generation, like Jackie Robinson was back in the 40s and the 50s.
High praise. I'll take it. I respect the fandom.
I love Jordan. We call him Air Jordan. Love him and Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman. But let's talk Raw 30 real quick. Did you guys enjoy Raw 30 this past Monday night? I mean, I got a few questions. We'll start with Dylan first. I mean, we can either all do one question together at a time, or you can just give me all your answers at once. But give me your thoughts on the show, a few things you didn't like about the show, what they could have done better, and what would you grade it from A to F? We'll start with Dylan first.
So the show was good. The first hour in particular was fantastic. The trial of Sami Zayn was honestly probably one of my favorite segments of the year, and we're just in January, so that shows a lot right there. That the segment alone was fantastic. You know, Sami Zayn potentially getting kicked out of the bloodline. He was getting ready to get the Samoan Spike from Solo Sikoa, and then the one who never liked him was the one to save him. So I thought it was a really cool thing, and it just all leads up to whenever Sammy is the one, I believe, to turn on the bloodline. I don't think they'll turn on him. I think he'll turn on him. And we'll get this tag team match finally at Mania with him and KO going against the Usos. But the show alone was fantastic. I thought they did a great job incorporating all the like legends and Hall of Famers into. I mean, really, it was mostly backstage stuff, minus like the DX and Kurt Angle, which kind of creeped me out. Kurt Angle being in another group. I remember he was like that honorary Shield member a while back. Now he came out with DX, and I was a little confused as to why he came out with them. But it was a cool segment with them, Imperium, the Street Profits, Seth Rollins, and all that. The ending felt a bit rushed with like Brock Lesnar coming out. I thought that was a little bit rushed. I thought they could have saved maybe a little bit more time. I hate the cage match got cut because of the Bloodline segment. Seems like they could have cut something else out instead of this match that I was really looking forward to it with Bayley and Becky. But I mean, nonetheless, the show was good. It exceeded my expectations. I'm gonna give it just an A. I'm not gonna go A minus A plus. I'm just go with a solid A. I thought it was really good.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah. I think it was great. With Sami Zayn and them, that was great. DX, that was great. I wanted to see the cage match. So, and then the ending with Brock coming out. So I'll give it a A.
All right, Matt. Go ahead, Matt.
Sorry for the awkward pause. I was just waiting. I didn't want to just interject. I thought the show was pretty good. I do agree with Dylan a little bit. The Angle DX thing, it felt a little forced at the end, but I thought the beginning was pretty good when Road Dogg cut to where Billy Gunn was supposed to be, and it was Kurt. I think they could have really done without the match, to be honest, but I think they just wanted to get everybody on screen. Even though the Becky and Bayley cage match kind of got cut short, they did it the right way and not just completely cutting the segment without explanation. They're doing a good job of Bayley and Becky in this feud without centering it around the Raw Women's Championship. So I think it's pretty cool. The trial for Sami Zayn was so well done. I didn't know what to expect of it, but I really liked it. And I would give the show overall probably a B plus. I thought it was a great way to kick off the show, and Heyman's almost so convincing in anything he does, and it was just, another classic, 20-minute spiel on the mic for him.
I'm trying to get what your brother's trying to say right here. Did WWE have a women's division in the past? You wouldn't know it from watching Raw.
Yeah, because the Bellas even released that Instagram video. They're not showing their women's division as much as they should.
Well, yeah, because
So
all they showed what Alundra Blaze playing poker backstage, and then the segment with Bianca and Charlotte, and then Sonya Deville. That's about all you saw. And then supposedly the Bella Twins got kicked off the show, or not. I wouldn't say got kicked off the show. They were taken off the show.
Mm-hmm.
They got taken off the show because I think they wanted to acknowledge two women that weren't there, and even though they were, integral part of the women's revolution with Sasha and Saraya.
Yeah.
So I can understand them there, but you already knew Raw 30 with how many legends they were having. You knew there was going to be a crunch for time on pretty much everything else. This was just kind of a formality in the road to the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And for it being a go-home show, it was kind of more of a nod to the legends. And I seeing Medusa back there, I really didn't think they were going to give Medusa a whole lot because of her history with the company being so wishy-washy. So I wasn't expecting that. And I felt like they had to get Charlotte on the show because they had Rick on the show. So I can see what Ryan's talking about, where you wouldn't know that there was really a strong women's division, but I think they're going to kind of make up for it on the back end, and I think they're going to really have a strong women's Rumble match this coming Saturday.
They should have tried to get Trish or Lita to come on for something too, but yeah, that was an epic fail. But the show alone, yes, that first hour was amazing. I loved that first hour. The second hour kind of got a little boring. Then the third hour was kind of flippity floppity. But yeah, the first hour was the best part of the whole show. The DX and Kurt Angle was my favorite fucking moment of the whole night. You know, Kurt Angle just randomly walking out with DX, and I'm like, there's no way that's Billy Gunn. Like, they're all wearing different DX shirts. He's got on his red iconic I Tap That Kurt Angle shirt, and the segment with Road Dogg is like, Kurt? He's like, what are you doing out here? And he's just like, I've always wanted to join DX, and took the shirt off. He had a DX shirt on. And then get Imperium. Then we get my favorite wrestler right now, Seth Rollins, coming out. Then
Far and away the best thing they got right now.
The Street Profits come out. Now, here's the bit I'm going to start where I'm going to jump to what they could have did better. You know, they got Teddy Long to come out to make the match official. Teddy Long never GM'd Raw. He was always the GM of SmackDown, but yeah, he was a part of Raw as a referee and as a manager for Rodney Mack and Jazz, but they should have got like Eric Bischoff or John Laurinaitis to make the match official because they actually GM'd Raw in the past, or even Stephanie McMahon. But I get why Stephanie McMahon resigned. She ain't going to be on TV.
Well, they also fired Johnny Laurinaitis, so I didn't. That would have probably been a stretch. But I could see Bischoff. I really thought Bischoff would have been a nice touch, for that type of segment. You're right, though. I mean, it's semantics at this point, but you have a point.
Well, they wasn't going to bring Bischoff because Bischoff pops up in AEW every once in a while. And I see why they took the Bella Twins off. Oh, your stepdaddy. We fired him a few months ago. Forgot about that. Whoa, what else they could have did better for The Undertaker? I liked how he did the American Badass, but he should have came out to Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, not Kid Rock, because they already fucked that whole entrance up. Like, that's not how his entrance ever started. They cut some parts of the song, then it jumped to the chorus. No, they played the entire whole song like if it was on Apple Music. And I think he had issues with his bike.
He did. He couldn't get it started or parked. Holy shit.
It reminded me of...
And Bray Wyatt was like his arms were on the ring and he's staring at him like, "You gonna get this thing started, my guy? Like, come on."
Yeah. It reminded me of Vengeance 2003 all over again. And I hated how they did that with the steel cage, unless that's just a build-up going into WrestleMania. Plus, I didn't like... Okay, did Diamond Dallas Page come out?
He was in the APA, one of the APA segments.
Yeah.
I saw that, but I thought he came out to the entrance stage and stuff, because when they showed the like highlights from the night, they showed him like doing his little diamond cutter on the stage, but I didn't remember that.
I want to touch on that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Marcus.
No, you good, man. Go ahead, bro.
It's crazy that for the longest time, the Good Brothers, they pretty much shit on WWE and never going back. And then they were offered a boatload of money to be with AJ again. They ended up turning back up in WWE. AJ breaks his ankle, and all of a sudden they're back to doing, they're like sidebar in these skits where they were sitting there playing poker with Akira Tozawa, and I couldn't remember the other person they were sitting at the table with. But it was just crazy how they were, so predominant in the beginning of that Judgment Day feud with AJ, and then all of a sudden the injury happens and they can't find them with a struggling Raw tag team division. They couldn't get them on TV other than that.
Yeah. But here's two things. Well, besides the steel cage issue, there's two other things I really hated about this show. Hulk Hogan kicking it off. I mean,
awful.
The last time Hogan kicked off a 30-year anniversary, he got the stadium name wrong, and his mic was having issues unless they were purposely cutting his mic off, because I don't want to hear them getting the crowd hyped up about the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to lose to the 49ers anyway this weekend. And I was glad to see Brock Lesnar come out. Cowboy Brock. I love Cowboy Brock. I was cool with how the match ended with him F5 in theory on Lashley. After not even a minute after the match was over, the camera cut off to Barmageddon. Nobody wants to fucking watch Barmageddon. Fuck Blake Shelton. He sucks.
Tell us how you really feel, man.
That's it. I mean, I wanted to see Theory talk shit, maybe call out John Cena or something, because I think we might get a Cena Theory match at WrestleMania. But Yeah, the ending was terrible. They're just completely cut. No credits at the bottom, nothing. Just jump straight
It's
to
all rushed.
Armageddon. Yeah, it was
Mhm.
all rush.
It's crazy. Theory looks like Cena in the face, but is built exactly like Orton. It is. It's kind of crazy to like when you really pay attention to it, and a lot of his mannerisms and his moveset he kind of borrowed from both of those guys. He's got a terrible finisher though. Once they find him a good finisher, he'll be a main event player for sure.
What Matt's trying to say, people, is Randy Orton and John Cena had a baby, and his name is Austin Theory. We might not agree with that, but I'm sorry, shout Justin from End Time Wrestling. You'll hear this on Ready to Rumble tomorrow, but I took this from him. But can we agree that Solo Sikoa is the reincarnation of Umaga?
He is for 100%.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Well, do y'all have any last words on Raw 30 before we move on?
No,
Not got nothing.
They should have used some classic theme song and not use "I'm Good" by Baby Rexha and fucking David Guetta. I mean, I like David Guetta, but
I do got something. If they were with the graphic they use for Raw is 30, they should have made it the old school set for one night. Either had the big RAW where they came out through the A, or they should have done
Raw's War.
the Raw is War set with the big Titantron with the steel around it. That would have been cool. I understand that they're all about the visual effects, but that would have been more nostalgic for the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, because they were sort of using Warzone graphics. I think the funniest part about the matching graphic was they had the videotape go in the VCR and it said Raw XXX. Like, they're putting in a porno. Could have said Raw is triple or Raw is 30, but it's funny. But they also made the announcement John Cena is on the cover of WWE 2K23, which there's 3 different covers. I sent the images to Dylan. I don't know if he had them popped up. The trailer looks amazing. What up? Ooh, that is too big. So the deluxe edition, I love it so much. Dr. Thugonomics. That's the cover I really want, but something tells me I'm going to have to get the Icon edition if I want everything. But the Deluxe and Icon edition will be available to download Tuesday, March 14th, but the original game alone will be revealed on St. Patrick's Day, Friday, March 17th. Before we talk about more of this game, pick a cover. If it was coming out ASAP and you get a chance to download it, what cover would you rather?
The Thugonomics. For sure.
The Deluxe edition?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That was my favorite version of Cena. So
Yeah. Me too.
That should have been. They should have reversed that. The Dr. Thugonomics cover should have been the Icon edition, and the Icon edition cover should have been the Deluxe cover. Because I'm gonna want everything, like when I bought the NWO for Life edition of 2K22, but I wanted that NWO cover. The only feature I remember I saw was in the whatever they call it, the story mode or whatever. You're going to play against John Cena's opponent. You're not going to play as the character of the cover. You're playing against them in the cover in like a hard level, and I think it's very interesting. Something different.
My biggest thing that I'm so happy about is they finally got War Games in the game.
mhm.
That right there, to me, I'm buying it
Yes.
regardless. I haven't missed any of the games incarnations. I'm a huge gamer, and I love those games. But the fact that they got the double ring in War Games is like that sold me. When I saw the double ring, I was like, "Yep, I'm buying it." I didn't even care about the rest of the trailer. I just saw the double rings.
Yeah, finally, there's War Games. Real quick, do you think WWE 2K20 was the worst WWE video game ever made?
Yes, without a
Easily.
doubt.
Yeah.
They actually put thought into 22, and it was. It took a little getting used to with the combo buttons and not just kind of using the directional pad in one button. But I liked how they did it. It was well put together.
What was your favorite wrestling video game of all time?
No Mercy.
Yes.
There we go.
Hell yes.
And 64.
Yes, I agree.
That was
Yeah.
a fantastic video game.
Yeah, even though it even though it's kind of the same as WrestleMania 2000 or WCW Revenge or World Tour, even though I really loved Revenge until
I
No
love the
Mercy
Revenge.
came out. What was your favorite 2K cover for WWE? There's been quite a few.
AJ.
AJ, 2K19?
Yes.
What about you guys?
I'd probably go with AJ as well.
I'll go AJ.
I'm kind of stuck on two, either Stone Cold's cover from 2K16 or Seth Rollins 2K18.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Rollins cover. It was pretty good, but that AJ cover was great. The only thing that makes me upset about AJ, and I know it's so trivial, and you're probably gonna think I'm ridiculous, but the soccer mom haircut just drives me insane.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to him either having the short cut or the wet like bangs in front of his face from New Japan, but
yeah, the Bullet Club look.
the Bullet Club look was good, but this dried like side swoosh ponytails. Yeah, I've never been talking about anybody's hair because I don't have any, but
Yeah. Man, it'd be great. I mean, it'd be weird seeing him finally cut his hair. Like he's been in WWE for like 8 years now, or 7 years. 2016 he made his debut.
That's crazy how long
7 years.
Already.
7 years and he still got the same haircut. You'd think by then he'd have had a different hair change.
I mean, I know they're funny about their wrestlers changing their appearances, so.
Mm-hmm. So, we'll go ahead. Okay, real quick. Do y'all want to predict the conference championships dead last, or y'all want to do them real quick?
I mean, it'll be quick. We can do them now.
That's fine. We can knock them out before we get into some serious Rumble talk.
Exactly. So we're going to kind of do something a little different with the show from now on. For example, starting next month, I kind of gave them a little late heads up with the new idea, but something new we're going to do on the show at the end of, or not either at the end of the month or our very last live stream of the month. We're going to have a segment called the Tweet of the Month, where we're going to go on Twitter and find the funniest tweet entirely for the whole month from any wrestler, whether if it's WWE, AEW, if they're in the pros. And I came across one when I found this idea, and I know Dylan and Jordan hadn't found one, but I said we're gonna start it next month in February. So I came across one. It was, I swear to God, this was the funniest shit ever. So I came up with this idea. So after the whole DX shit, Kurt Angle was the special guest referee for the match. And you remember he had that red, white, and blue referee shirt on under the DX shirt. I thought it was a cool shirt. He posted a tweet after DX went on the air. He's sitting backstage in a recliner with his arms around it with the referee shirt on, and he put "You suck plus suck it equals you suck it" smiling emoji at WWE hashtag Raw 30, and he made a fuck up here. He meant to put hashtag it's true, but he put it's two, TUE. He forgot to add the R.
Angle's hilarious, man. I love Angle, but it's just so sad seeing the way he moves now with all these surgeries and just his body's breaking down on him. Everybody else that was in the DX segment, they all are in relatively decent shape. I know Hunter had that health scare, but Sean Waltman looks like he can still wrestle.
What up, CK? Tim King Show. Congratulations on your new show, man. Yeah. Hey, best image of the damn week of 2K23, the War Games image.
Yes.
When I saw that other turnbuckle post in the corner, I said, holy crap, there is a War Games in the game. Finally. So... And we're going to try something a little different tonight. Since Jordan, by the way, amazing job hosting World Elite Spotlight this past Monday. We're going to let him host the segment. So he wants to do the conference championship games we're going to have this weekend. And I also forgot to mention, when y'all asked how I was doing today, I said we're doing fantastic now that the Dallas Cowboys are not going to the Super Bowl. Forgot to throw that at the beginning. But yes, thank you, Brock Purdy. In the Niners. I think we all knew that coming. But yeah, we got 2 games this weekend. The winners are going to Super Bowl 57. on February 12th in Arizona. So at I think it's a 2 p.m. kickoff. The NFC Championship game, we got Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers versus Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. And at 5:30, AFC Championship game, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals versus Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be 2 great games, I think. So, Jordan, whenever you're ready, man, I'm going to hand it off to you, and you can talk the rest, man.
All right, so first we got the 49ers and the Eagles and the NFC Championship.
So before I make my pick, one more accomplishment I want to acknowledge for Jordan. I don't think Jordan noticed it. I don't think Marcus noticed it. But today is Jordan's 2-year anniversary with the show. I just remembered that.
Oh, happy anniversary, Jordan.
Happy anniversary, buddy.
Yeah, thank y'all.
And for my pick, I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're a powerhouse team. The McCaffrey trade really, really helped them. Brock Purdy's playing amazing. The Eagles, of course, won a blowout last week, but I mean, it was the Giants. The Giants are still that up-and-coming team. I think they'll be a dangerous team somewhere down the line. But something about the 49ers, everything's clicking for them right now, so I think they'll win.
All right, Marcus. All right.
Okay.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, go ahead. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the 49ers as well. I piss off a lot of people when I say this. The Eagles give me 2019 Ravens vibes, where they were just a dominant team from start to finish in the regular season. They get the first round bye. Now I know we lost to Tennessee in the divisional round, but there's just something that just doesn't seem right to this Philadelphia team. Even though they're a really good offense, I just don't think they have the defense that is going to be able to keep up with how many playmakers do the 49ers have. And like Dylan alluded to, that McCaffrey trade makes the world of difference. He is 10 times better than Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson, and it shows. You got to pick your poison with McCaffrey, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, or Kittle. And that's a crazy offense. And I believe it's going to be San Francisco in the Super Bowl again.
It's going to be a hell of a game. I mean, I don't see it being too lopsided, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised because I think that 49ers offense changed when they picked up McCaffrey halfway through the season. And I know they're on their third-string quarterback. You know, Brock Purdy was like third string behind Garoppolo and Trey Lance, and he's been doing a fantastic job. I still don't get how he got Mr. Irrelevant. He don't play like a Mr. Irrelevant. He plays like a damn all-star.
Being the last pick in the draft,
Yeah. That would be a great story for Brock Purdy to be drafted Mr. Irrelevant. And then he was with the 49ers like 3 or 4 seasons and he brought him to the Super Bowl and won. It was 2018 he became Mr. Irrelevant or
no,
19?
he's a rookie.
Oh, he
He's a
got
rookie, right?
recent. Well, see, that's why
he was a 2022 Mr. Irrelevant.
See, that's why I don't remember because I probably didn't watch. I didn't watch day 3. I don't usually watch
I
day 3
watched
of the draft.
every minute of it. I'm an NFL draft junkie. I will sit there and watch it from pick 1 to pick 250, whatever. It doesn't matter. I love it.
That's a long day. That day 3 is always a long day. But of course, first 2 days, yes, I have my shit set to my TV like I'm on the draft clock. But yeah, real quick, 49ers easily. They're going back to the Super Bowl. First time since Super Bowl 55 when they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. Or 54.
I think it was 54.
Yeah, so it's 2020. So yeah, 3 years. First time in 3 years.
I think 55 was the
Chiefs and the Bucks.
Tom Brady Super Bowl.
So yeah, first time since 2020, Super Bowl 54. I got the 49ers.
Yeah, I got the 49ers too. And then our second game, we got the Bengals and the Chiefs for the AFC Championship.
So I'm not going to try to be biased. I'm going to go with Joey B as well, but it's just something about Joe Burrow having Patrick Mahomes' number every time they play. It doesn't matter how many times they play. He always has his number. So just got to roll with the momentum for the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're going to go back to the Super Bowl, hopefully win it this time.
I'm the exact opposite. I will never root for a Joe Burrow-led football team. I liked him in college, but when he went to Cincinnati, I thought they were going to ruin that man's career with how bad that offensive line was. But now that what you guys think is swagger, I think is arrogance, and nothing would make me happier than to see them losing the Super Bowl for 2 straight years. But I don't even want them to go. I want to see Patty Mahomes go back. If I'm rooting for whoever wins in the NFC, I'm a Ravens fan. So, I'm never going to root for a division rival. I mean, he was sitting in our locker room smoking a cigar after he put up 500 yards on a bunch of Amazon drivers in our secondary at the end of last year. So there's no love lost there, guys. I know y'all are all Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase fans, but you won't hear anything nice. I can't say nothing nice. I'm not gonna say anything at all.
Well, we also like Trey Hendrickson because he was a former Saint. He did a lot for New Orleans too. So
yeah, he broke my heart in the playoff game. So yeah, that guy too.
now, well, we can all three agree with you on one thing. Fuck Eli Apple.
Yes.
Oh, I'm surprised nobody's beat his ass yet. Like in a game, like it's like I'm surprised that like somebody didn't like Aqib Talib, Michael Crabtree, or Andre Johnson beating the shit out of Cortland Finnegan.
Mm-hmm.
I love how every time Eli Apple gets bring up in a conversation or something, Dylan posts the same tweet: the burnt toast.
He's terrible. And what's crazy is he gets beat like a drum every single game, and he still has the nerve to talk shit. Like you're the worst person in that secondary, and you still are. Your arrogance is astounding. It's not like you're locking people down. You're not.
I think, man, he needs to meet Keith. They would get along so well. They hate the Bengals, but he's a Steelers fan.
The thing is, Adam, the producer on Driving to the Top that we're all part of, he's a Steelers fan, and I'm starting to meet more Steelers fans that are somewhat bearable, and I'm getting really grouchy about it. I guess I'm hitting like my mid-30s old man like phase of my life where I'm getting grouchy because I used to give them blues and I didn't care who they were or who they were to me. But, Steelers fans, it's just been such a long rivalry. And that's part of the reason why I can't stand Cincinnati. They've never won anything of relevance. They didn't win a playoff game for like 20 years or something. And now all of a sudden they're good again. I can't wait until that team blows up. They're not going to be able to afford all those guys. And I'm going to relish in that fact when they can't afford Joe, Chase, Higgins, and Boyd, and that redheaded douchebag Hayden Hurst that used to be a Raven.
I only hate 2 teams: the Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons, and Tom Brady. But
I love Tom. I love Tom Brady. I hated him in New England, but what changed my mind about Tom Brady was I was watching Instagram Live. And him and Rob Gronkowski were at the practice field for the Buccaneers, and they were sitting in lawn chairs with their feet in kiddie pools, and they were doing like this little drawing game on these boards where they were asking each other questions. I got such a kick out of it. I was like, Tom Brady's actually somewhat likable, so he just had to get away from that tyrant with the cutoff sleeve hoodies.
mm-hmm.
But I can dig it, even though he broke our heart many a times in New England.
Yeah, the winner of this game is my pick to win the Super Bowl. I mean, of course, I'm picking the Bengals and Joe Burrow, but if Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs win, that's fine. I'll pick them in the Super Bowl because I do like Patrick Mahomes, and I know a lot of people hate him. They think he's getting the Tom Brady treatment.
Why do you not like the Dallas Cowboys?
I hate their fucking fan base so much.
Their fans are horrible. I fucking hate them.
I know you guys aren't familiar with my area of the East Coast, a whole lot, but I work in a county in the halfway point between Baltimore and DC. Mm-hmm. The amount of Cowboys fans in Washington, DC and the surrounding counties in Maryland and Virginia is ridiculous. And it is a lot of them. It almost seems like there's just as many Cowboys fans down there as Commanders fans.
Well, outside of Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Arkansas got a lot of Cowboys fans. One of my good friends who lives in just outside of Cincinnati, he's a Cowboys fan, but when they sucking out the playoffs, he's he's on that Bengals bandwagon, but he grew up a Cowboys fan. But no, it's just our fans. I can't. Falcons, we hate them because they're our biggest rival. That's one thing. But yeah, the Cowboys, it's just the fans. I can't. Oh, we them boys. This our season. Same shit over and over. It's the circle.
I remember watching the game where the Ravens shut down Old Texas Stadium, and Willis McGahee and LaRon McClain back-to-back series ran over 75 yards on a touchdown each, and we just like completely ran them out of their own stadium. It was a glorious sight.
Yeah. Well, do you guys want to add any more on?
I got the Bengals.
Yeah.
I'm the lone Chiefs supporter for the weekend. I know I'm in enemy. I know I'm in enemy territory. So,
I mean, they'll probably all be close games. I could see the Niners winning maybe by like 10. Bengals will probably win by 2 touchdowns.
It all depends on Mahomes to me, man. If Mahomes is showing any signs of that high ankle sprain, it's going to be a long day. But if he just does his like Patty magic where he just makes some ridiculous throws, they got good running backs too, man. That kid Pacheco is a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Mahomes has proven that he's the top quarterback in the league again this year for the simple fact that he is doing all this without Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's going to be – how close y'all think the game's going to be?
I think the AFC game, I think it's going to be like a anywhere from a 3 to a 7 point difference. Those teams are going to – that's going to be a slugfest, man. That's going to be a heavyweight fight.
I know the AFC. I mean, it could come down to like a field goal victory for either team. Like I said, for me, it doesn't matter who makes it to AFC. I'd like to see Joe go, but I'm not rooting for a 49ers or an Eagles Super Bowl winner. I just can't do it. So, I mean, it doesn't matter who makes it. But yeah, I could see like that 3-point victory for whoever. It's almost the same thing for the NFC. It's gonna be a close one, two high-powered offenses just duking it out the whole time. So it's gonna be close, regardless of what game it is.
Jordan?
Yeah, I think they both gonna be close and good.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get to some Royal Rumble talk. We'll start with a bit of Q&A. So how we'll do this, we'll start with Jordan first, then Dylan, then Matt, then I'll go last. So we'll start our first one. I said, give me at least 3 to 5 your top favorite Royal Rumble winners of all time. Go ahead, Jordan. You first.
I got 3.
Okay.
My number 3, I got Drew McIntyre. 2, I got Seth Rollins, and 1, I got Shinsuke.
Okay. Dylan?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So I also did 3. Number 3, I did Batista. From 05, whenever him and Cena went out at the same time, then he had to restart it. The whole shit show at the end with Vince tearing his quads and all that, and then learning that the entire finish was not even in the script. It's just they somehow both went over at the same time. Number 2, I put Rey Mysterio in 06. It was pretty much destined for him to win after Eddie passed. It was almost like just following the entire script the entire time that Rey Mysterio is in fact winning this Rumble no matter what. And then of course number 1, favorite of all time, Shawn Michaels, thinking he got the elimination in 95 and then somehow coming in and winning it. Just one of my favorite Rumble finishes of all time.
He stole my number 1, man, and Michaels is it for me. My number 3 is Austin's first Royal Rumble win. I believe it was 97. That was one of the good ones because that was kind of like around the time where he was starting to really hit his stride and become like the guy in the company. I liked that one. I liked the McIntyre Rumble win because he finally got his moment in front of all those people, after essentially carrying WWE through the pandemic, Thunderdome era. And then my number 1 is Michaels, with his feet, almost skimming the bottom of the or onto the floor and then, pulling himself back up. I thought that was great. That's my number 1. I'm a huge Michaels fan, so I was a little biased in that. But Dylan stole the thunder, which is cool, man.
I think out of
Nice.
all y'all's, I think only one popped up in mind, but I'm the only one that did 5. So my number 5, I had to put a female. I know they've for the last 5 years they've had women's rumbles. I had to include at least one female winner, and out of the 5 they done, maybe my favorite winner out of the 5 was Becky Lynch. I liked hers. Like she kicked off the show fighting for a championship, did not win, and then took the place of someone who shouldn't have been in a rumble match in the first place because she rolled her ankle. Her heel broke her, hurt her ankle. Poor Lana. Number 4, I put John Cena at number 4. Just that return after 4 months after he tore his pectoral muscle, and then just the fact it was in the garden, that pose, that iconic image right there, and then changed my whole mood. Number 3, I had to put Stone Cold, but the question was which Rumble would I put? Because he had 3 wins. I'm stuck either with the 98 Rumble when he eliminated The Rock, or if I want to go bias and put when he won it in 2001 in New Orleans against Kane. I will probably say 98. His 98 Rumble will be mine at number 3. Number 2, I'm going to put one of my all-time favorites, The Rock, when he won it in 2000 in Madison Square Garden. And at number 1, I put Rey Mysterio, just winning it for Eddie. When I saw that press conference, I had no one to pick and to win it until I saw that, and I said, I'm picking Rey Mysterio, and sure enough, he won.
I do want to comment on one of your picks, though. The Cena Rumble, that entrance and setup was so minimalistically perfect. Like, I wish one time they would just do that where they don't make the set like a big, grandiose type of deal. Use one of those lower concourse entryways, do the ramp for like 25, 30 yards, and then that way you could just have more people on the floor, honestly. Yeah. I just thought it was so cool how they had the doors open. Like that era of WWE with like their ramps and all that stuff. Like they go all out for Rumble and Mania now, and that's about it. But they used to do it for everything. And that was such a cool – that was one of my favorite Rumbles to watch once I got back into it.
Yeah, it was 2008's Rumble win, not 13. But yeah, that's how Madison Square Garden was back in the day. They set their entrances in the center exit, but then they renovated the whole arena, and they don't have that little thing no more. So they have to sit up in the far corner. And it sucks because when I go back and watch like Royal Rumble 2000, Survivor Series 02, Royal Rumble 08, or even like any of the previous MSG pay-per-views in the 80s and 90s, they had that exit entrance right there. No, they don't have that anymore. All right, let's go from 3 to 5. Top favorite Royal Rumble matches. Go ahead, Jordan.
All right, I got 3. I got 2020 for number 3. For number 2, I got 2018, and my number 1, I got 2007.
Nice.
That's good. Number 3, just because we were there, 2020. You know, I didn't really like the whole Brock Lesnar just eliminating everybody the moment they get into the ring, but it was nice when Drew finally got him out. And the whole return of Edge, you know, finally coming back after his long retirement from the neck injury, seeing it live was so much different, and seeing it like actually on TV or the videos you see on the internet still going around to this day. Number 2, obviously, I went 2007 with Taker winning it, and then number 1, I went with 2005. You know, the ending, of course, like I mentioned earlier, was a huge clusterfuck, but it was cool. You know, just Batista winning it, you know, finally solidifying himself as one of those top stars, and then soon turning on Evolution and then becoming like that single star world heavyweight champion.
So for my top 3, I'm going to go back into my time that I missed, but rewatching it back, the 2008 Rumble, seeing Triple H win the Rumble, that was pretty cool, just for the nostalgic purposes, because I was a Triple H fan before I stopped watching. My number 2 Rumble is 2020. Seeing Edge come back, that'll get you choked up every single time. Just like his emotion, like he almost forgot that he had to like get to the ring for a second. And I know what it's like, you know, for everybody that loved Edge. I loved Edge and Christian in the tag team era with the Dudleys and the Hardys. And it was just nice to see him come back after he worked for all those years to get back to the ring. You could definitely tell he appreciated it in that moment. And my number one Rumble, I'm gonna go a little old school here, is when they had the Rumble in 1992 for the WWF Championship and Flair won. That's when
Nice.
I've rewatched that on the network probably about 4 or 5 times, just seeing Flair win the championship and the that winged eagle, the gold winged eagle championship is still the most beautiful title they've ever had, and it was a little I'm a little nostalgic for the Nature Boy.
Awesome. And you can't forget that Rumble ended with one of the greatest lines ever. Put that cigarette out.
Right. I mean, yeah, it was just so cool to see Flair make the entrance and come in and win. And I think that was right on the heels of him leaving the NWA, I believe. Might have been right around that time that he departed.
Nice. So again, I did 5. So here we go. My number 5, I put the 2001 Royal Rumble. One I should have attended, but I couldn't. Number 4, I put the 1998 Rumble. Number 3, I put 2005, and not because I would say because Vince busted both his kneecaps, but I don't know. It's just something about it was very special. Number 2, I put 2008 when Cena won, and number 1, I put 2006. Again, that because of Rey Mysterio. No, I didn't want to add this as a question because I think we would all have the same answer. I wanted to add what was the greatest Royal Rumble return of all time, but I think we're all going to say Edge in 2020.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's easy.
And today's the 3-year anniversary of that.
Mm-hmm.
This is
It
the
happened on
best
that
pay-per-view that they have, man. I cannot wait for Saturday night.
God, and see, that was another Rumble I was supposed to attend. I couldn't go because I almost lost my dad that day, and he was in critical condition. But luckily,
wow.
third time's the charm. I'm going to the Rumble this Saturday, finally. After 2 different times, I couldn't go for the last 22 years.
My brother went to the Rumble in Philly when Roman Reigns won.
Oh, God, did he boo him?
Yeah.
That Rumble was
Good.
fucking crock of shit. That whole show sucked. But all right, speaking of events, give me your top 3 or 5, maybe top 3 for y'all, 5 for me. Top 3 to 5 favorite Royal Rumble events of all time. And if you'd like, you can kind of explain why you liked a little bit about it or not. It's up to you. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I got 3. I got 2020 because I was there with Dylan and with Edge. Everybody stood up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got 2018 and I got 2001.
Okay. Nice. Was that one your number 1 because it was in New Orleans? The only time it was in Louisiana?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Go ahead, Dylan.
So number 3, I put 2020, and if I'm going to talk some other than the Rumble, which was very good, my first time seeing the Fiend character live, even though with the whole entrance, how it was, I'm not a huge fan of the Rumbles being in like the baseball stadiums because if you're not sitting by the ramp, you cannot see the wrestlers coming out. So anytime the entrances would happen, we couldn't see nobody until they finally made it to the ring. So we were sitting at like the third baseline, I would say, and they were in like the dugout all the way on the other end. So the Fiend came out, I couldn't see shit till they got to the ring, which sucked. Then Charlotte Flair finally winning a Rumble. She's one of the greatest of all time right now. And, so many people don't like her, but I see her as one of the best. She got that Rumble victory, even though everybody wanted Bianca to win that one. Luckily, Bianca did end up winning one. It's just not the one that everyone did. The Roman Reigns match with King Corbin was awesome. They were going all over the place. Yes, Marcus.
I was about to ask you real quick. Since you said y'all sat on the third baseline, did y'all had a good clear view when Roman speared him on top of the dugout?
Yeah, they were right there. Yeah.
Nice. All right, continue.
It was awesome. But then the whole Rumble itself, it's so hard to talk about the Rumble without talking about Edge. I mean, it's just going to get brought up so much when we're talking about this Rumble itself. And just like I said, being there live, and we were standing the entire Rumble. and the security finally made everybody sit down. The moment everyone sat down is when Edge came out, so everyone just popped right back up after it happened. Number 2, I'm going with 2007. I thought it was a really good show. Batista with Mr. Kennedy, someone that a lot of people wouldn't see as like a world championship contender. For me, I still felt like it was a great match. And then the Undertaker winning the Rumble was awesome. And then number 1, I gotta go with 2001. I thought the Dudleys opening up with Edge and Christian, Jericho and Benoit, and I mean, honestly, probably one of the greatest ladder matches I've seen. And then Stone Cold winning it's, one of the and he last eliminated someone who we'll talk about in a few minutes as someone who never won a Rumble, should have won at some point in his career. But I thought 2001 was maybe the greatest Rumble event of all time.
We want me or is it Jordan?
You.
Jordan went already.
Okay. My number 3 Royal Rumble that I in my top 3, 2001. I thought that was a great Rumble to go back and watch and like really kind of appreciate it more, even though I was still watching during that time, but to appreciate it as an adult as opposed to a child. Seeing Austin win, just that whole card was fantastic. Like you said, the ladder match was incredible. My number 2 Rumble is the 2020 Rumble. Edge and just the overall show itself. Contrary to you, I'm a fan of the baseball stadiums because you can there's so many people there, you can feel it. It feels like a big time show. And my number 1 Rumble, even though I didn't like the outcome of it, 2016 when AJ debuted. The thing is, I'm still admittedly I'm into the dirt sheets. Fightful, Ringside News. I know that there's a lot of douchey people in these sites, but hearing AJ's music hit, and then only like the diehards really knowing who he was, and then to see Roman had a pretty good reaction to it. It was just great, even though he didn't win. It was really cool to see him, coming up to debut of the Rumble, fresh off of the Wrestle Kingdom pay-per-view like 2 weeks before.
God, I feel like I'm the only one that did not put 2020 in his list. And it wasn't, it's a good Rumble. It's just, God, I mean, I lived to see a lot more awesome ones I thought were my favorite, but no hate to the 2020 Rumble. I thought it was very good. It was probably the last most amazing pay-per-view ever until the pandemic arrived. But
I will say something though, Marcus. People shit on Lesnar for being what he is, but his interaction with Keith Lee was absolutely hilarious in that Rumble.
Who the fuck was that guy? That's what he said.
And then he did like the big boy when he stepped in the ring. Like Lesnar is low key one of the better overall performers when it comes to expressions, and you wouldn't think of it because of how big and how menacing he is. But I love it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Not to mention him dancing to MVP's theme when he magically came back like we didn't know about it. It was a spoiler on Twitter.
Yeah, somebody posted an aerial shot of
his Jumbotron when they crossed down fucking Interstate 10. Yeah. I'm like, or I-59. I'm like, come on, man. So much for that surprise. Good thing they didn't catch Edge's Titantron.
They kept that very closely guarded.
So my top 5. Okay, my number 5 is more of a dumb bias reason. I put 2010 at number 5. Yes, 2010 was a decent Rumble. I loved a bunch of things about it. That was also a night Edge return when he tore his Achilles tendon and when he was already predicted to win the Rumble. But this is going to make Dylan and Jordan laugh. The only reason I put this in my top 5 because this pay-per-view happened the week before the Saints won the Super Bowl.
Nice.
So, I've waited for y'all to laugh, but okay. Number 4, I put 2008 because it's Madison Square Garden. Everything was good except the debut of Mike Adamle. Jeff Hardy Randy Orton match was great, even though I wish Jeff would have won. Cena's return made that Rumble so much better. The fact they got Michael Buffer to be the announcer for the Royal Rumble match. And then you had two of the greatest of all time kick off that Rumble, Shawn and Undertaker at 1 and 2. That's more to tell. And plus that big ass spear Edge did to Rey Mysterio in the air after he 619 Vicky Guerrero off the apron, and she never got out of a wheelchair the last 2.5 years. Number 3, I put 2005. Again, the 2005 Rumble, the whole West Side Story theme, where my favorite commercial of all time, where they're doing the finger snapping, and it was a nightmare in Vince McMahon's dream with the horrible wigs, and then Edge and Shawn Michaels kicking off the show, Triple H and Randy Orton having a classic, and then the 05 Rumble alone was good, and then Vince blowing his knee out was the top of the cake. Number 2, I said for a few years was my all-time favorite Rumble, 2001, because mainly it was in New Orleans, the only time New Orleans ever hosted the Rumble. I should have gave it a 5-star rating, but I gave it a 4.5, only because of Chyna's injury, and that made it the worst match of the night. But yeah, Dudley's Edge and Christian, amazing match. Jericho Benoit ladder match, 5-star match, and it was ranked in the top 10 matches of 2001. Triple H Kurt Angle was even a damn good match, and then of course the 2001 Royal Rumble match was very good as well. But again, just like my other 2 questions we just did, number 1, I'm putting 2006. 2006 was my all-time favorite Royal Rumble. The whole Roman Coliseum back image, the whole arena looked like the Roman Coliseum, the henchmen opening the doors, and then you had Rey Mysterio winning the Rumble, even though the Spirit Squad crashing, making it a pep rally was the horrible part. Edge and John Cena's match was outstanding. Just never questioned why Undertaker and Mark Henry and Kurt Angle had the main event, is because the Undertaker was going to make the ring implode with his hands. Now, I do have a question, since Dylan was supposed to come on that episode with me, but he was sick. If that shit didn't happen with the Undertaker, where he did the lightning and the ring imploded, would have the Rumble match main evented or Edge and John Cena?
I mean, for me, I guess I'm old school when it comes to like a Rumble pay-per-view, but I think a Rumble like match should always main event no matter what.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So y'all thought Ray winning should have closed out the event?
Yeah, I mean the story behind it. I mean with Eddie's passing, I mean he was pretty much destined to win it. I mean he dedicated the whole Rumble to him. So I mean, yeah.
Okay. All right. This one was kind of maybe one of, if not the hardest question of the night, but there's a particular wrestler we still have today. He's currently been in NXT lately, but Kofi Kingston has had some tremendous Royal Rumble moments that stretched for like the last 10, 11 years. But if you can only pick one, what was the moment Kofi did at the Royal Rumble that made you like jaw drop and go like, holy shit, did that just happen?
I'm going with the handstand.
Okay.
Yeah, the handstand was mine too, 2012.
Me too.
I'm gonna go a little bit of a different route. Even though the handstand was incredible, I liked the rolling chair spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more predictable with how they were going to do it, but that still takes a lot of effort. And I thought it was like, prime New Day kind of antics to get him back into the ring.
Yeah. Again, I agree with Dylan. Jordan, mine, of course, was the handstand. This one will be interesting. Of all the previous Royal Rumble winners we've had in the past, there has always been a few all-time greats that never got to add that victory into their resume. I was going to do 5. I'm like, let's just do 3. I wish we would have did 5, but no, we're going to do 3. Give me your top 3 wrestlers, top 3 of the greatest wrestlers of all time to never win the Royal Rumble.
All right. My number 3, I got Mick Foley. Number 2, CM Punk, and 1, Chris Jericho.
Nice.
Number 3, Daniel Bryan. I feel like 2014 was like the yes movement, should have won it that year. And then of course they bring in Batista and somehow he ends up winning it. But luckily months later at WrestleMania, he got his moment. 2, because of how dominant he was in the Royal Rumble until his record got broken by Roman Reigns, I feel like Kane should have got one at least. Somehow never got a Rumble victory on his belt. And then number 1, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is one of the most successful superstars that ever wrestled in WWE. Somehow never got one.
I'm gonna actually do 5. I'm gonna kind of throw a curveball here because I couldn't really decide on just 3. Even though I'm not a fan of him, CM Punk should have had one, at least a Rumble in his career to kind of cap off, the accolade aspect of his resume. Number 4, old school. I always got to include an old school. Randy Savage. Macho Man never won a Rumble. And he always played second fiddle to Hogan while he was in the WWF. And they didn't really do him right by him by keeping him on commentary for most of his run. Number 3 is Chris Jericho. Number 2 is Big Show for me. I used to love the Big Show. He never won a Rumble. And number 1 for me is Kane. It's a travesty that Kane never won a Royal Rumble.
Who is that guy?
Hold on, who is that?
Kyle Tyson? While you find that out, you know what? I'm gonna add 2 more. I thought I wanted to do 5, but since he did 5, I'll add 2 more in the last minute. I'm gonna go with my original 3. So I had Kane, which I agree. Kane should have had at least one, especially after that dominant performance he did in 2001, where he had 11 eliminations in one Rumble before Roman broke it over 10 years later. Number 2, I put Daniel Bryan. I think we got robbed. 2014 should have been the year he won, where he overcame the Authority, and then it's the Miracle on Sugar Bowl Lane, not Bourbon Street. The Superdome is not on Bourbon Street, people. I've said this all the time. And number 1, I put Kurt Angle. Olympic gold medalist, multiple-time world champion. You still never won a Royal Rumble. But I'm going to add 2 more people. I'm going to add 2 people nobody ever mentioned. I'm going to add Bobby Lashley and Eddie Guerrero.
Solid Eddie addition right there. Nobody really thinks about that.
I'll throw Jericho too. Jericho, the GOAT, with 1,000 nicknames. So, yeah. So, have you ever found out who that guy was? Tell him keep me in line.
That's Kai Tai from.
Oh, I didn't recognize his picture.
Yeah, that's his last name.
I just know him as Kai Tai. I don't follow him on Facebook. I'm just friends with him on Twitter. It's at Twitter name is at Kai Tai or the Kai Tai Show.
Yeah, that's his last name.
All right, this one here, I said just 1, but if there's more than 1, feel free to throw it in. But give me, of all people, the worst Royal Rumble winner of all time. Good, Jordan.
I put Vince McMahon.
Me too.
Same here.
I am going to go. It's either Vince. I was having a hard time to, I alluded to it a little earlier. Either Vince or in 16 when they tried to force feed Roman Reigns down everybody's throat, and then they had The Rock come out afterwards to kind of give it a little boost. I thought that was very poorly done, and it was kind of like they were trying to make him relevant, and he just wasn't ready yet compared to where he's at now, obviously. But yeah, McMahon winning the Rumble was the absolute travesty.
Yeah, they should have let Austin hold a record, 3 consecutive Rumbles. And yeah, he won 3, but 3 consecutive, that would have been a record that would have never been broken. They robbed us for that one. So this one was kind of a little tricky, but it's something with me with music. I guess for being a DJ for 16 years, I feel like, quick question, is music very important when it comes to WWE pay-per-views?
I'm indifferent to it. I really just think that they try to go with music that is like they go to a different niche every year. I would assume,
Okay.
but I like the direction that they went with one of the picks that I had. I'm a Hardy fan, so I thought that this year's
Yeah.
choice was pretty cool.
Yeah, I do like this year's, and I didn't really know who he was, but I'm actually excited I get to see him perform, even though that's the only song I know by him. But I don't consider him country. To me, he's more rock.
He's kind of like a southern rock and roll country like crossover. He's a little bit more of like a mainstream Brantley Gilbert.
I like Brantley Gilbert. At least he's more country than Kane Brown.
Kane Brown is a pop star.
Kane Brown looks like he's the bastard sibling of Patrick Mahomes.
I like Kane Brown more than his actual brother.
I don't even know who his brother is.
Jackson Mahomes is the one that did the.
Patrick Mahomes' brother. I thought you meant Kane Brown's brother.
No.
Yeah. I hate his wife or fiance, whoever she is, and I hate his fucking brother.
When his brother did the TikTok dance on the Sean Taylor number, I was like, I'm surprised nobody attacked him, but I digress.
Yeah, this is interesting because I always find theme songs are important, and I love when I hear if there's a good theme song or not, because there's been years that they've had shitty themes for pay-per-views. Then there's this, but give me your top 5 Royal Rumble theme songs of all time. You just say the name of the song by the band, and if I remember it, I'll know what year it is, but you could throw the year in it if you want to help out.
Dylan gave me a cheat sheet earlier, so I was prepared.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I say I know it's hard to remember. That's why I gave everybody a cheat sheet, because I'll definitely remember it. But go ahead, Jordan.
All right, my number 5, I got We Own You. We Own It, 2014.
Wiz Khalifa, baby, yes.
My number 4, I got Let It Rock, 2009.
By Kevin Rudolph. Young Money, Stand Up.
My number 3, I got Blow Your Mind, 2017.
Alo Black, yeah, that was I've heard that for a boxing headline too.
My number 2, I got Ballin', 2022, and my number 1, I got Living in a Dream, 2011.
By Finger 11, the same band that wrote Kane's theme song. And Logic, it's funny, I only heard that song through Uncle Drew. That funny movie. All right, Dylan, go ahead.
Yeah, number 5, I also put We Own It by 2 Chainz and Wiz Khalifa. It was also on Fast and the Furious. That's what I heard at first before the whole Rumble thing.
Right, yeah.
And I heard it on one of the UFC pay-per-views where Daniel Cormier won the light heavyweight title.
I think it was in a Madden video game too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it was Madden 15.
Yeah, I thought it was 14 or 15.
14 or 15, yeah. Madden 25. Madden 25.
I'm sorry. Yeah. My apologies. Yeah.
No, it's the same thing. If you had it on Xbox One, it was called Madden 25. If you had it on any other console, it was just Madden 14.
I think it was 25 everywhere.
I had the Adrian Peterson cover when I bought it on Xbox One because fuck Richard Sherman. I didn't want his cover.
Number 4, I put Cocky by Kid Rock for 2002. Kid Rock, and I just love his music, so of course I choose him.
I fucking love Kid Rock.
Number 3, I put Find the Real by Alter Bridge for 2005.
That's another good band.
Number 2, Hero by Skillet. I already said I love Skillet, so 2010. And then number 1, Marcus, me and you talked about this before, 2004, Puddle of Mud, Nothing Left to Lose.
Yeah, I was going to see Puddle of Mud in concert, and you sent me that. You're like, you got me hooked on this. Now I can't fucking stop listening. I'm like, yeah, I love, they're fucking great. Even though Wes Scantlin been through a lot of fucking issues in the last 10, 15 years, they're still an awesome band. Yeah, that was for WrestleMania 30, Legacy by Eminem. They used that for Cena versus Wyatt.
I know, so good.
Yeah, so when we get to WrestleMania, that will be we'll do this for WrestleMania. We'll probably do this for every pay-per-view. I like this new topic I came up with. But go ahead, Matt.
My number 5 is Nothing Left to Lose by Puddle of Mud. I thought that, like, when I was listening to some of them, I'm like, okay, this is a really cool. So I like the fact that they have all these songs playing through, like they have the theme song playing throughout the night, so you can they like constantly remind you of it, and I'm sure their plays go through the roof on whatever streaming platform they're on. That was my number 5. My number 4 was "Let It Rock" by Kevin Rudolph. My number 3 was "We Own It" by Wiz Khalifa. My
And Two
number
Chains.
Yeah, in 2 Chains. My number 2 was "Cocky" by Kid Rock. Um, I'm not necessarily a fan of Kid Rock's music, but he was so good in Joe Dirt, and that's one of my favorite like
Yeah.
guilty pleasure movies of all time. I love Joe Dirt.
You little sissy boy. Def Leppard sucks.
Like it's a cult classic. I love it. I'll never stop loving it. I even got my 5-year-old daughter to watch it with me one time, and it was pure joy on her face. And my number 1 is Hardy. I know that
Sold out. Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
I know we're not there yet, but my favorite country artist right now is Morgan Wallen, and I know that's very cliche, but he's just like on fire to me right now, and they're pretty much two peas in a pod. So I'm definitely feeling the theme song for Saturday night.
Yeah, hell, it sounds so great.
And
Yeah,
I don't want to have recency bias. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I said if I can quote my favorite line from Joe Dirt, he's like, "Home is where you make it. You like to see homos naked?" I love Joe Dirt. I like David Spade. I like anybody from Happy Madison Production.
I didn't like the sequel though.
No, fuck the sequel. I'm talking about the original, the OG.
My favorite Madison production movie of all time is Billy Madison. Doesn't get much better.
I don't know if it was Happy Madison. It might have been. If The Wedding Singer was Happy Madison, that was my all-time favorite.
I don't like that movie. That's one of the few Sandler movies I don't like.
Wow.
I don't like that or Jack and Jill.
Yeah, everybody hated Jack and Jill.
Yeah, Jack and Jill is fucking horrible.
Just go with it though. Solid movie.
Yeah.
What about you two guys? Throw in an Adam Sandler movie from Happy Madison you love so much.
So Billy Madison is my all-time favorite of an Adam Sandler movie, easily.
Jordan,
Happy Gilmore.
Okay, yeah.
That's another good one right
Yeah.
there.
What about the Water? What about the Water Boy, Big Daddy, Little Nicky,
Mama Said.
The Longest Yard?
I like the Water Boy is always a classic. I still haven't found one in my size, but I will get a Bobby Boucher jersey before.
We have them in the mall in Lake Charles at Lids. They always have a Boucher.
I need like a 3 or 4XL, so I just got to find me one online that doesn't look like it's a scam site.
Any store, any sporting goods store in Louisiana, whether if it's Lids, Foot Locker, Champ Sports, or anything that sells shit, like not except Academy, they got Bobby Boucher jersey. There's a fucking store in the Mall of Louisiana in Baton Rouge. I can't remember. It's the one that's got every freaking throwback jersey in the past. It's on the second floor. If you ever go to the Mall of Louisiana a lot, there's a store there that sells nothing but throwback jerseys and current jerseys. They have a Bobby Boucher jersey up there. I see it every time I go there, and I go to that mall like 3 or 4 times a year.
His best movie though, even though I love Billy Madison, Uncut Gems was the absolute instant classic, and it was one of his more serious roles. But I know a lot of people gave him grief for that.
Did you like Hubie Halloween?
I'm not really into Halloween movies.
Oh, okay. All right, my top 5. All right, I got number 5. I got Hero by Skillet in 2010. 4, I got last year's theme, Ballin' by Logic. Number 3, I put We Own It by Wiz and 2 Chainz in 2014. Number 2, I put Nothing Left to Lose by Polo Mud in 04. Number 1, I had to put Let It Rock. Mainly because Lil Wayne is in the song, even though it's not his song, and I'm a huge Lil Wayne fan because he's from the greatest rapper to come out of the state of Louisiana and one of the greatest of all time.
He's one of the greatest of all time. Period. It's crazy to see what he's turned into, but I was a fan of him when he was in the Hot Boys, but that's how long ago I was listening to him. I'm not trying to trump anybody with it, but he's definitely.
He don't rep the city much. I don't even know if he either lives in LA right now or Miami. I can't keep up with that.
Well, I mean, with all that money, do you really expect him to live in one of the wards that whatever ward he's from?
No. I think I thought they said he lives in Miami. because that's where the headquarters of Young Money Records is right now. But well, that'll do it with the Q&As. I'm going to hand it off to Dylan, and we're going to close out with predictions for the Rumble this Saturday in
We
San
didn't do
Antonio.
the worst. We didn't do the worst Royal Rumble winners.
We did. I said Vince McMahon.
Oh, we did. You're right. Damn it, we did.
You picked Roman, and we
Yeah.
3 picked Vince.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. I totally forgot about that.
You could. So, yeah, this Saturday from San Antonio, Texas, in the Alamo Dome, we get the Royal Rumble. 4th time in the city of San Antonio, and the 3 of 4 times in the Alamo Dome. But why are we doing it in a half stadium instead of in a full capacity? That's what I don't understand. They're doing like SummerSlam in Nashville. We're all blank there. Let's just skip that. Dylan, if you're ready, I'm going to hand it off to you.
All right, so to save any confusion, we're gonna go Matt first, then Jordan, then Marcus, and then I'll close out the picks. So we're gonna start off with the Rumble, and we're gonna end with the Rumble. So the first Rumble we'll kick off with, we'll go with to the women's Royal Rumble match. There's only a few listed here. That's the only confirmed ones, I believe. There's obviously gonna be more. We'll see surprises, hopefully. But Matt, who you got, man?
As much as I think they've been pushing Raquel, I think it's going to be Rhea. Something just I feel like with her being pretty much the shining star of Judgment Day so far, I just think that they're going to saddle her with that and potentially a Mania Women's Championship match against Bianca, because they got pretty good chemistry when they do wrestle each other. So I think it's going to be Rhea Ripley for the women's match.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm going Rhea.
I'm sorry, Jordan. Do you have a backup pick for the Rumbles? We were going to do a backup pick for each Rumble. I forgot to tell you that.
My backup is Raquel. If Rhea doesn't win, I think Raquel, they've been kind of like putting her in position to where if she's not going to win it, she is going to have a very impressive, strong showing to where they're almost going to make her look like a female, like dominant force, like a Kane or a Braun or something like that, just in terms of volume of people she tosses over the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going Rhea Ripley, and my backup, I'm going to go Shayna Baszler.
Nice.
I would have said Shayna if Ronda was still the champion.
Mm.
Yeah. See, that's how we do it on this show. Like every Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and Money in the Bank, we do a backup pick. If it involves more than like 4 superstars. So it's like 1 of 3 times a year we do predictions like that. Or unless they do like a big multi-man ladder match or something. That's not Money in the Bank wise, but so yeah, I got same picks as Jordan. My main pick is Rhea Ripley. My backup will be Shayna Baszler.
So
after Dylan makes his pick, I have a question, but go ahead.
So I'm gonna go with everyone else. I mean, the obvious pick I believe is Rhea Ripley. I believe I seen a site earlier that does like the betting odds, even though we're not able to bet on the Royal Rumble since it's like a scripted thing, it's already predetermined. But yeah, Rhea's the heavy favorite, I believe, to win it. And if I'm gonna go with a backup, I'm going with someone that's not even confirmed yet, but I'm pretty sure at some point we'll see her in the Rumble, and I'm gonna go with Bayley.
Yeah. See, that was my next question. I know they only showed 7 women out of 30. Do you any surprise entries you think we're gonna see? Whether if it's a Hall of Famer coming back to get a spotlight shown on her, or someone from injury, or someone that has not yet been named, like Bayley, for example. You guys have any few names y'all think can be added to the Rumble?
Nia Jax. Hear me out. I think she sucks, number 1. She's absolutely fucking awful. She's garbage. Always, like, she is one of the most unsafe workers that they ever had. But the amount of times that she's protested about not coming back and been vocal about it on her social media, money talks at the end of the day. And when you're not making the WWE salary all year long and they offer you a nice little pretty penny to come back for the Rumble, I think she'll make it one-off.
Okay, Dylan.
So I remember last year whenever Mickey James made an appearance, and even though there was no partnership at all, they just let her be in the Rumble, even let her bring the title with her. I think that they reach out to another company and they bring over Kairi Sane from Stardom. That's been the heavy rumor lately.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see her come back for that one-off, maybe have some sort of confrontation with Asuka or something like that, being they were tag team champions before.
Jordan.
I'll say Trish.
Please.
Nice.
I would
That would be
love it.
great. I can believe Bailey. I think all of Damage Control is going to enter that match. But if I could think of a surprise entry in the Rumble, I'm going to go with Beth Phoenix, and we get that showdown with her and Rhea Ripley for a bit.
That's a good pick. I was anticipating one female from NXT being a surprise entrant, but it was just announced today that Nikita Lyons tore her ACL.
Oh,
Mhm.
damn.
So I am like all about her. I want her to beat on me, like that kind of thing. But hey, I love. She's very like raw, like green. A lot of her stuff is still very choreographed, but I think that when she gets some seasoning, she's going to be like the next big rock star for the women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so our next match, we're going with the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair defending it against Alexa Bliss. Expecting a lot of stuff to go on this match with a certain connection with Bray Wyatt, but we'll see, Matt. Who you got?
I don't think they're going to put the title back on Alexa. They've been to that well a couple times already, and I believe Bianca goes into Mania as the Raw Women's Champion still.
I'm going Bianca.
Yeah, it's hard to pick against Alexa, but I'm going with Bianca.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bianca as well. I think the only way they put it on Alexa is that they get some sort of stuff that's been going on with like the Uncle Howdy appearance or something that gets Bianca's attention away from the match. Somehow Alexa's able to capitalize on that, but if they don't, then I think Bianca wins clean. She goes to Mania as the champion and she takes on either the Rumble winner or she feuds with someone else going into Mania. But yeah, I think she retains. And speaking of Bray Wyatt, we have an interesting match, the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match between LA Knight and Bray Wyatt. Now, this one, I'm expecting some stuff to go on during this. This is not going to be a clean wrestling 1, 2, 3 finish. I'm expecting some crazy activity during this one. But who you got, Matt?
It's his first televised match back. It's going to be Bray. But I will say this, LA Knight is doing some of the best work carrying this feud going into the match. He is incredible on the mic. The fact that everybody's screaming "yeah" after he said I was kind of like put off when they paired these guys originally, but it's working. It's one of the things that I'm like really hoping is a bright spot to the Rumble, because to be honest, as much as we love the Rumble matches, lately there haven't been many good filler matches in between the women's and the men's. And if they do it the way that they, usually do, they're going to have one kick off the show and one end the show. So I'm, just that in between time, I think this is going to be a solid, like middle of the card type of match. But I got Bray Wyatt winning.
Yeah, I got Bray Wyatt too. I can't wait to see this match.
To be honest, it's hard to tell because what are the stipulations for this match? Are they really going to be pitch black? Is it a cinematic match? Are they doing it in front of a crowd? Are they going to make the image black and white like if Karrion Kross was coming out? I don't know how this can go. Just expect Uncle Howdy to show up if we find out it's Bo Dallas and whatnot. I don't know what the rules are, but it's Bray Wyatt's first match on television since 2021. It's LA Knight's premier live event debut because we can't say pay-per-view these days no more. But I'm going with Bray Wyatt. I'm so happy to see him back. I can't wait to see this entrance in person. I love his new theme. I can't wait.
Yeah. Minus I think one match he did at a live event versus Jinder Mahal. This is his first televised match back since coming back in October. Now, one or two predictions about this match. I either believe we'll get Uncle Howdy making an appearance and we're going to get the big reveal as to who he is. Some saying it could be Bo Dallas. Some saying it could be Vincent from The Righteous from Ring of Honor. But I am also... Yes, Marcus. Oh.
Wrong button. No, I heard another rumor. They think it's Cameron Grimes.
I wish that's not...
I don't want that to happen. He's money with what he's doing. I want to see that on Monday or Friday. I like the to the moon gimmick.
Yeah, but no, another prediction I have. For me, I haven't been seeing this lately, but something tells me this Firefly Funhouse was very temporary to one night. When he came back at Extreme Rules, you've seen all the characters come to life. I'm not sure if that was just, signifying his return, that he's back, or it could be some sort of long-term storytelling. Something tells me we're either getting the reveal of Uncle Howdy, or we're getting a faction that Bray Wyatt's going to run. This whole Wyatt 6 thing has been running for a while. He mentioned 6 facts about himself during that promo on SmackDown. Something tells me that we're going to get something going on at the Royal Rumble, or we'll get both. We'll either get the Uncle Howdy reveal and we'll get a faction. So something's going to happen during this. I mean, other than the Rumbles, this is the match I'm most excited for. I'm not sure the rules. I'm not sure what's supposed to go on during this match. Is it supposed to be really pitch black during it? I have no idea. But this is going to be good. LA Knight's one of the best workers I've seen on SmackDown right now. He's truly carrying this feud, in my opinion. No, Bray comes out, gives the same promo every week. I love Bray, but he's giving the same promo every week. It feels like kind of underwhelming of a return. At first, I didn't like this whole feud with him and LA Knight, but LA Knight is just absolutely killing it. On the mic, in the ring, he's just fantastic. So
He is.
For me, Bray Wyatt's going to win, but man, this is going to be really good. I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens during it.
Before you move on, Dylan, I wanted to ask you this because I get this vibe. LA Knight's look and the persona, he screams Intercontinental Champion of like the late 90s with like the white strap.
Yes.
Like you could just see him rocking like the Shawn Michaels era Intercontinental Championship. Like that's the vibes. And like even sort of with the glasses that he wore on Monday night, I liked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just an LA Knight fan, man. Like I'm so happy that he's doing this thing because he was good as Eli Drake, man. I don't like a whole lot from TNA, but he was one of the ones that I was a fan of.
I don't really have the love-hate relationship for the name no more. I just love Eli Drake. He screams money, and if I go back to another wrestling event, which I am this weekend, I'd rather hear the crowd do a hey chant than a woo chant.
It's fair.
Not hey, a yeah chant than a woo chant. My bad. I just said my last name.
All right, so now we get to what should be the co-main event. If it doesn't either open up the show or something, it's either going to open or it's going to be the co-main event. But Roman Reigns defending the undisputed Universal Championship against Kevin Owens. I mean, I'm not expecting the title to change hands to Kevin Owens getting both championships. I expect Roman to drop one and then maybe carry one into Mania. But, I mean, that's just me. Matt, who you got, man?
I agree with you, Dylan. Like, as much as I want Owens to win, I think that he deserves, after the year that he's had, if you think about since last Mania, the match with Austin, he carried all the promos for the most part leading up to this time last year. And then he seamlessly moved into the Ezekiel and Elias storyline. And now to where he's at with the bloodline. I want to see Owens win because I think he deserves a title run that's not going to have him fed to Goldberg. So I don't think they're going to end it just yet. I'm going to go Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I'm going to go Roman Reigns. I think it's going to be a good match.
Oh, I agree. It's definitely going to be a good match.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I put the ones up, there's a lot of question going around. what's going to happen going into Mania? Is he going to go in with both titles or is he going with just one? There's so many questions asked because this can turn out either way. He could potentially go in with both or not. Depends what happens at Elimination Chamber when we get to Montreal. But everyone, all they want to talk about is when is Sammy going to turn on the Bloodline? They don't know if Bloodline's going to turn on Sammy. They think it's role reverse, which I'm loving this whole story. I think this could go down as probably their greatest match in their Royal Rumble trilogy because their match in 2017 was great at the Rumble. The Last Man Standing in 2021 was unforgettable, racing around the Thunderdome. We can see Sammy break soon. It could be the start at this Rumble if the cracks start coming. But no matter what happens, the Tribal Chief is retaining. And we're still going to debate if he's going to go into Mania with both titles, but we'll wait till Elimination Chamber for that. But Roman will win at the Rumble. No matter if Sammy accidentally hula kicks Roman or whatever, or accidentally almost helped KO win, something's going to fucking break out. And it's going to get close when Sammy just says, fuck this, I'm done, turns on the Bloodline, and potentially we get a KO Sammy versus Usos at WrestleMania.
So first of all, I'm gonna go Roman Reigns. I mean, it's the obvious pick. You know, there's no way they're putting both belts on Kevin. If it was for one championship, maybe I'd go Kevin Owens. But something tells me that this may be the show that Sammy is the one to turn because I know the poster for Elimination Chamber leaked, and Sami Zayn is on the cover of the poster. So this makes me think maybe we'll get like a one-on-one between Roman and Sammy, and that somehow leads into the Mania match with KO and Sammy versus the Usos for the tag titles, and that's how they dethrone the Usos, as by having KO and Sammy win them together. But storytelling's been so fantastic with the Bloodline, Sami Zayn doing this whole trial thing on Raw. It's been so awesome, and it just makes it even better for when Sammy is the one to turn. So I'm just looking for it. But yeah, Roman Reigns is going to win. So we get to the main event, which should be the main event, is the men's Royal Rumble match. Same format as the women's. Give me a winner and a backup if you have one.
My winner is going to be Cody. From the guys that they've had confirmed, my backup is Seth Rollins.
Nice.
I have a little bit of a theory about this. Something tells me Sami Zayn is in the Rumble. And I know that this is a little bit far-fetched, but if Sami Zayn's not in, Cody wins. But if Zayn is in the Rumble, I think Zayn wins. And I think that because it's been known that Roman does not wrestle in the Elimination Chamber, so I don't think the title is going to be on the line at the PLE in the Chamber. I think they might have a Chamber match to determine who faces Roman in night 2 when they do undoubtedly split the belts. So I think that could be like a backup way for Cody to get in. But I think Sami Zayn could win the Rumble.
Nice.
He is white hot right now.
Oh yeah,
and he's outside of Seth. He's the best thing they got.
True. Yeah.
Personally, I mean, I know it's a little kitschy for Royal Rumble theories, but that's just where I'm at.
So I got Cody Rhodes, and my backup I got Karrion Kross.
Nice.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. Okay, it is obvious. I mean, after Cody tore his pectoral, it said 9 months, or not 9 months. Yeah, 9 months, just about. Maybe less than that. I said he's eventually going to come back and win the Royal Rumble. We have been saying that for months. And it led to the pieces, these video package of Cody Rhodes training in the weight room, getting that pectoral healed up. I was like, dude, he's going to come back and win the Rumble. And then when he announced it, I said, he's going to win. And it would be so stupid if they did all this hype and all this work for him to be the runner-up or even get eliminated as soon as he got in. It'd be stupid if he not win. Cody wins the Rumble. My backup is Seth Rollins. I think they're going to be the final two. Cody and Seth will be the final two. Final four, I'll throw Sami Zayn. A fourth guy, I'll probably throw Austin Theory or Bobby Lashley as the fourth for a final four. It's going to come down to Cody and Seth. One of them's going to win it, but I will say Cody wins it. But hear me out, please. If it comes down to Cody and Seth and Cody wins the Rumble, let them have one more match. I don't care if it's Elimination Chamber or Raw. Let them have one more match and let Seth fucking Rollins beat Cody Rhodes before he goes to WrestleMania and wins the title. Please, motherfucker, please. Rollins should have won at Hell in a Cell. That would have been perfect to send Cody off to get rehab and heal that pectoral instead of him being fucking Superman of all people. Seth should have beat Cody Rhodes at Hell in a Cell. I'm going to say it over and over. Thank you. And fuck Dominic Mysterio. I hope he gets eliminated by his father.
All right. So my winner's Cody Rhodes. He's the obvious one. I mean, they couldn't make it more obvious. Now, we're talking about theories for the Rumble. And I did not have this theory at all. My brother is actually the one that actually gave me this theory for a backup. Now, I said, hear me out on this one. Now, Ryan, my brother, gave me this whole explanation today. I didn't want to believe it whatsoever. But seeing reports as to who Roman could possibly go against. And no, I'm not talking about The Rock. Someone else came to mind. And this man has quickly jumped up to number 5 on the odds betting right now. But my backup pick, if Roman was to fight someone that's not Cody Rhodes, I'm going Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Nope.
He's number 5 on the odds betting right now. He was like dead last on the odds betting thing. And in a few days, he jumped up to number 5.
That's plausible, though. That's a plausible
really is
explanation.
Because the reports came out. Sean Ross Sapp, I do follow him, Fightful.com. I do follow his stuff. A lot of people talk shit about this guy, but he brings up a lot of good stuff. And if The Rock's not clear to compete, which he said some way he's not in wrestling shape, which I think that's ridiculous because The Rock is built
That
like
is
an actual
absolute
rock. So,
horseshit. Anyway,
so
that
if The
man's
Rock
showing
does
up in the
not
Rumble.
compete, if The Rock does not compete, which I think he will, I think we won't get this Stone Cold Roman thing. There was talks that there was so much money that was willing to be thrown at Stone Cold to show up and wrestle Roman at WrestleMania. Now, would I love to see it? I mean, given the performance that we got with KO and Stone Cold last year, I would love to see it. But I don't think we will. But I mean, it would be fantastic for Stone Cold, if it's not Cody Rhodes, for Stone Cold to win the Royal Rumble and go fight Roman. Now, I know Marcus doesn't love it. I mean,
tag me in.
Go ahead, because I'm seeing theories. I'm seeing reports that money's willing to be thrown at Stone Cold. I mean, my brother may think that I stole this from him, and 100% I did. But I mean, it's a great
You're at least
report that's
acknowledging it,
coming
though.
out.
Is your brother
I am.
watching this right now?
Yes, because I just saw his comment come in.
I bet it is eating him alive that he cannot bet this on FanDuel right now for Stone Cold to pop up at the Royal Rumble. Like, bet he'll put a $5 bet that you'll hear the glass shatter because it's in Texas. I wouldn't mind hearing the glass shatter in Texas again and hear the crowd go fucking crazy. And then that would complete my journey of hearing Stone Cold's theme in Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio. But it would be pointless. Like I said, what's all this hype for Cody to come back and him to win it if he don't win it? But I mean, yeah, it was a miracle pulling a rabbit out the hat, seeing Austin have a great performance with KO in the main event last year, and I was there for it. But I felt like that was just a one-time deal. Do we really need him to come back? If you're going to do it with Roman, you better not do it for the championship. Just like they want The Rock and Roman to fight, but it don't need to be for a title. Let Cody complete that journey. Even if they split the titles, if Cody just wins one belt, I don't want Austin to win that other belt or Rock win the other belt. Either let 3 people win that other belt if you're going to split it. Let KO win it, let Sammy win it, or put the fucking belt back on Seth Rollins, baby.
I have a different Austin
theory.
If if he doesn't come back and win, I'm fully convinced The Rock is going to be like 29 or 30 in the Rumble. They're in the back of my mind, they might be 29 and 30 for shock value, and for just the fact that they got to get both of them on the Mania card. If Austin doesn't win, I think that they're going to set something up with Rollins and Austin. I think Rollins is his next Mania opponent. That's just I got a gut feeling about it, and there's been no reports about it. Or they're going to do the Austin Theory angle from last Mania, and they're going to run it into this Mania. But something tells me that Rollins doesn't have like a clear trajectory right now for who he's going to face at Mania. So my pick is Austin will be in the Rumble, but if he doesn't win, maybe he eliminates Rollins, and that sets up their feud. But I'd fully anticipate The Rock being there. He's a terrible liar, and there's just too many things that make sense for this to be the situation where he sees Roman at Mania. And to your point, Marcus, I know you don't want to see any of the old timers win the championship. If it indeed does happen, I've said this on other wrestling shows, and I'm going to bring it to this show. And I know I'm full of theories because I'm a nerd out for this shit. I love it. The Rock beats Roman Reigns, and then on Monday Night Raw the next night, he retires in the ring, and the belts get split that way, without a big to do where they got to have Roman fight 2 nights. I think The Rock could take both of them off of him, come out on Raw, open up, retire, and then they could put the Universal title back on SmackDown, the WWE title back on Raw. Or there was a rumor that I saw where they were thinking about bringing back the Red Universal title and putting it back on Monday nights.
Switching the titles back.
Yeah, I did see something about that.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Absolutely.
I got nothing else.
Not me either.
Me either.
This was fun. Do you guys want to add any more before we close out for the evening?
I have a wild prediction for Royal Rumble entrance for the men. And they've really been hush-hush about it the last week or so. I think Switchblade shows up.
Yeah, that's been
sweet.
talking about that too. That would be fucking great. I finally
That
get
would
to
be
see
awesome.
Switchblade. God, I
Yeah,
would love that.
I think Switchblade might be the next attempt at like a surprise like they did with AJ.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I said like if he were to appear in the Rumble, I could see him coming like during the middle, maybe like a 18 or 19 entry.
Yeah, I don't. Something tells me the AEW run he had, he wasn't very impressed with it. Because if he was, he would have stuck around or at least attempted to go back. And I don't think he's going to turn down big money. And I don't think he's going to go to NXT if he does show up. They're going to put him right on Mondays or Fridays. And they could use an injection of another main event player on Monday nights.
No, he'll get the same treatment like AJ Styles did.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you really think about it, while AJ's out, they could put Switchblade with the Good Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Only thing I got left. Dylan and Jordan, are you sure you guys don't want nothing from the Superstore?
Whenever you
Or do-
get there, send me some shit what they got, and then I'll let you know for there because you did the same thing for Mania.
Yes, I did. And I got y'all like little shit, like a cup and a keychain or something.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember what else, like koozies.
I love the family feeling on the show.
Well, when I went to the WrestleMania Superstore, I mean, it was like being in a freaking mall. There was just shit everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
From toys and all kind of shit. Then they were like, no, he sent me like $20. He's like, just give me a souvenir cup, a koozie, a keychain. Y'all got something else. I'm getting my Seth freaking Rollins t-shirt in blue font, the blue outline, not the red. I still haven't debated if I'm going to get the Cody Rhodes American Nightmare shirt there, or I'm going to wait till he officially wins the Rumble and I'll order it on WWE Shop. Because I'm going to keep my promise to Tim King. If Cody wins the Rumble, I will get an American Nightmare shirt eventually. So I'm going to wait if he officially wins, unless Austin sneaks in and wins, or The Rock, or Seth Rollins. You never know. But I'm still getting my Seth freaking Rollins t-shirt in blue outline.
Yeah.
But, well, Matt, thank you again for coming on. It was nice to have you on, and I can't wait to do more with you guys and everyone else a part of Straight to the Top Productions. Where can we find you on social media?
Thank you guys again for having me. I really appreciate this. This has been a great time. I got to nerd out and spout off some of my wrestling theories that, people think I'm crazy for. But you can find me on Twitter at BWATB Podcast, on Instagram at BWATBXCCHW. I know it's like just the acronyms for both of my shows. That's about it. I should be having a pretty big guest on my show in the next week or so. I just interviewed a Houston Texan, a former Houston Texan and Raven, and Baltimore Raven, Bernard Pollard, on my show last week. So if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, it's on my Twitter. It was a fantastic interview. He ripped John Harbaugh to shreds. So, yeah. It was a little intense.
I'm going to have to get used to. I said the name wrong. It's Driving to the Top. Why did I say Straight to the Top? I get those mixed up.
And
it happens.
It's a mouthful as well.
Just like your show. I'm sorry. It's going to be a while to get used to.
I'm so happy that you guys had me on this show, man. It's truly an honor. You guys are doing great work over here, and just to be a part of this is my favorite pay-per-view of the year. And I get hyped up, and it's the official road to WrestleMania. I love Mania too, but these 3 pay-per-views coming up are my favorite of the year.
This seasonal part of the year, the first quarter of the year. Yeah, well, it was a pleasure having you on, and we look forward to bringing you back on for future prediction shows and topic episodes, or if you ever want to come talk a nostalgia episode with me on pay-per-views, or if you ever want to join Dylan and Jordan talking about a current superstar or a match on their little mini shows as well.
I'm always open to coming on. Just, hit me up.
Yeah, well, you can find the podcast on Twitter at World Elite Pod. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and Twitch as well. And we're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to us on any audio platform. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating and review. We're everywhere: Spreaker, Google Pod, iHeartRadio. I usually say 2 other names I keep forgetting. But, yeah, we're everywhere. So, one last time, any guys have anything else before we close out?
No, I got nothing.
I got nothing here, but thank you all for tuning in and joining us. Matt, good luck down the road with your show. We look forward to seeing you again in the future, but we're about to be on the road to WrestleMania. Let's go. I can't wait. I hope you guys enjoy the Rumble. Hopefully we can try and do a Fallout the same night when I get back to the hotel. I'll bring the laptop just in case, but if not, we'll wait till I get home the next day or whenever we're available to do it. But I'll be on standby. We'll decide that when that time gets closer. But I hope you guys enjoy the Rumble, and we'll see you guys next time.
So what does it mean to be a raging Cajun? Southwest Louisiana, wreck your face, man. Still don't get it in, I'ma let you know.